Okie dokie, Advent of Code, day 2025, day 6. Time to do some homework. We have a bunch of problems arranged vertically. It consists of a series of numbers followed by an operation. The operation gets applied to all of the numbers above. Find the results, and then sum up the results and check the answer. What could possibly go wrong? Part 1 sounds like it should be pretty easy, albeit there's going to be some annoying there's going to be some annoying indices. There we go. So first off, let's just apply ops to nums. It's going to be a vec of isize, and op is going to be a ref stir, and we'll return a single value of isize. And we're going to match op if it is. So we're doing a stir, not a char. So if we do add, we're going to do num iter sum. If it is an asterisk, is product. Always get the wrong page. So there is sum on iter and there is product on iter. Sweet, that means does iterate product for isize. Great. So that's easy, and then anything else, panic. I suspect we'll need to apply some other operations later. Now what I want to do, res is going to be 0, and I'm going to iterate over nums. I want to, let's see, I want to iterate through the first value. So I don't care about the value itself because I'm going to get each of those individually. No, yes, yeah, no, this is correct. Okay, so I'm going to go column by column. I don't care about the value right now. What we're going to do is going to do nums get nums.first, unwrap. We do need to iterate because we need to enumerate it. Okay, and I don't want equals, I want in. I know how to write things. And then it's going to be, we're going to create a vec. Let probnums, as in the numbers of the problem, be a vec. Just create an empty new vec for a moment. And we're going to go for v in nums. So for each vector, I want to do probnums.push, and I want the ith value, and then I want to do res plus equals apply ops on probnums, which is going to take my ownership, and ops I, and then we return res. That looks like it might be part 1. Got a couple of red squiggly lines. I can't quite see. Where are you? You should be. Let's just try it. What are you unhappy about? Yeah, don't care about part 2. Expected U size found I size. Right, yeah. I'm assuming we will possibly have negative values and possibly be able to, you know what, all use sizes. Oh, there's only one left. Okay, that's still not the issue. We're still somewhere. Oh, here problems. It's not mutable. There we go. Okay, test passed. What fresh hell? This is a Saturday, so part 2. I mean, part 1, that was 5 minutes, although I did already write. I realised I didn't show. I've written a read input helper function, which collects basically a vec of individual strings. And the reason I'm keeping it as strings is because it's the whole file. Then pop the last one off, which is the operations, map the remaining ones into their numbers, and then return both the numbers and the operations. Okay, when they see it Rento doesn't match the one expected, they didn't. Okay, it's written right to left in columns. All right, not sure why that should. Oh, you absolute fuckers. This is how they get you on a Saturday. Right. So, presumably this number here is 434. No, 431. I see. It's literally column by column. So it's 4 plus 431 plus 623. Oh. Right, well, let's grab the test value. Test part 2. Nope. Stop. And run. 2. Okay. This means my helper function now actually is kind of irrelevant. Because what I want, instead of a vec of I sizes, I want a vec of Charles. I think. So let's make that return a vec of string. Let's get rid of that entirely, and I should have kept it so that I could feed the top one. So you are going to get a vec of string. And you are going to say let nums be equal to nums dot iter map. So we've got a vector, and we're going to do v iter map parse and n. And then I need to collect that one, and then collect that one. And you are unhappy because you need a site annotation. Vec, iSize. Okay. Still unhappy because down here, part 2 needs to change the function signature. You're going to get a string. Cool, and test it still runs, gives roughly the right answer, and we're going to pass test 1, fail update 2. Great. So make vec char, and it's going to take v is a vec of I size, and it's going to return a vec char. No, what am I doing? I'm going to return a vec I size. Let's do all of the parsing in here, and you are going to be a vec of string, not I sizes. And what it's going to do is it's going to be v into it. I'm going to consume this string. Map it. We now have a string, and we're going to do chars map c to digit. Digit. I think is going to return it. U32? Yeah, it is. Can there be any negative numbers? I'm going to assume for a moment there are no negative numbers, in which case this is fine. I'm going to keep everything consistent. It needs to be unwrapped. Collect back of iSize. And then collect back iSize. You don't want that collect. What's the end of that? That is iter map string. Do you not like? And background. Oh, right. You need to go there. What don't you like? What are you? You should be an iterator. Okay. So we're iterating over a vec of strings to give us an individual string, which we are turning into its characters. The individual string is going to be like 1, 2, 3, which turn into its characters, which is going to be the character 1, 2, and 3. Turn each character into a digit, make it an iSize, collect that into a vec of iSizes. That needs to be collected. And we're all good. Great. So, part 2. Fundamentally, we're going right to left. Right to left is not too much of an issue. Let mute res equals 0. We still need that. And we're going to do for I underscore in nums first unwrap iter. I still want to enumerate here and then reverse it. So now we're going to go right to left through the columns. Actually, right to left through the columns is entirely irrelevant. We don't need that rev there. Right, because everything still lines up. It's only relevant decoding the actual numbers themselves, because I'm still going to get that column, well, that cell, and that cell. And it's going to be 4 on its own. Oh, I need to keep track of... No, I don't need... Going right to left actually doesn't matter at all, because I still get 6, 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, and then a 4. So I've got my vec of strings. I'm just going to let small nums is equal to nums iter map each vec, and we're going to do, that's a vec of string, so we're going to do make vec char make vec digits. On v, and it's going to complain because it's not, yeah, because that is It's a reference. There's no reason this needs to be an inter-iter. I don't think. That's fine. Okay, so small nums. I'm going to type annotate this just above. No one knows to put it in. Vec, isize. Okay. May as well use that. So we are now going through. In fact, what I am going to do is it's row, then, oh god. So the first vec is a row. Why is it a vec or vec? So fundamentally, each cell is a vec isize. So that is a cell. That is a row. And that contains all the things. So the first thing is a row, cell, digits. Those are our three vectors. Yeah, okay. Whew. Right, so we are going to go through each column in the row. And maybe it does matter if we read right to left. What do we get here? So here we get 3, 5, 6, 24, and 1. Yeah, so it's actually quite nice they've given us this problem this time around. Okay. Let cells be which is going to be a vec of vec isize be vec new, and it needs to be mutable. Okay. And then we're going to go. I need to look at part 1. This is a bit of a mindfuck for vec in nums. Yeah, okay. Yeah. For v in small nums. So this is now for each row, and v is a row. So we're going to get cells.push v.get I. Don't need to clone it. .unwrap. So cells needs to be a vec, or where does the reference need to be? There? Let's just pretend rows for a minute. Okay. So it's a vector of references to other vectors, that's fine. So now, this is going to be, so I is 0. So for each vector, which is each row, we're going to get, so this is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I think I can reverse the iterators and zip them together. Let's just go take a look in the playground. So, let A be vec 1, 2, 3. Let B be vec 4, 5. And let C be vec 6. and then let V be vec of A, B, C. Cool. It's actually references, but this shouldn't be a problem too much. So it's going to be V iter, and then for each one, zip up 2 iterators into a single pair. I might need to manually zip. Because I need to know what the longest one is, which is not guaranteed to be the first one. I need to reverse it, so we get 3, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's worth just reversing these as vectors. No. So, loop. It's going to be something like let mut num be equal to 0. If, and then it's going to be for, these, for v in v's, if let sum, I need i's, iter enumerate, I need iv, if let sum x is equal to vpop, then what I'm going to want to do, so this 3 is going to be the hundreds value, 356, yeah. I am going to num times equals 10. I don't need the I'm. Num plus equals x. Okay, so the first time through, we'll get 0 times 10 plus 3. Then it'll be 3 times 10 is 30 plus 5 is 35. 35 times 10 is 350 plus 6. Yeah, great. Okay, don't need I, just V. And so to prove that for a moment, print line num. Oh, I can't type. Always do this. And then if num is exactly 0, break. Where? Oh, yeah. Use of move value v's. What, in loop? Okay, that's fine. Oh. It's because of this loop, isn't it? This loop actually doesn't need to exist. It's this. For each v, do this thing. You can go, you can go, you can go for a moment, you can go. Except now we're only going to do it once. Can I do a while? While these it's all empty. Do this, and then presumably I'm not. I don't even know if my brackets line up anymore. That's going to have the same issue. Also, these all need to be mutable. So that's a bigger issue. VS does not need to be mutable. It does. Oh, I think I can solve this by making these references. Because I only need VS twice. Cannot borrow V is mutable because it's behind a reference. Oh, it's even helped me. I could literally just read it. You going to tell me? VS needs to be mutable, apparently. And this did not happen. Why? Well, not. 356, and while any 356, 246, that one. I believe that's what we want. Perfect. Let's just check that. 356, 241. Great. And apparently nothing needs to be not mutable. We have no warnings. Right. I'm going to yoink this directly in. So, get rev nums from nums, which is going to be a vec isize, and it is going to return a vec of isize. Right. While nums. Now we're going to have mutable issues. So you need to be owned value. That was new. At the end of this for loop, which is here, we're going to do a res push num don't want to print it, and we need to return res. For v in nums, okay, great. So our get rev nums, which we've just tested, should hopefully work. And it's probably worth going and testing that here, because logic is starting to get away from me. Now it's expecting complete ownership. So you are just going to be A, B, C. Let expect, it's going to be vec of 356,241. Assert equals get rev nums vs and expect. Let's test it. 2 passed, 1 failed, part 2 failed. Great. So where does that put us? If I have an column, you know, I'm going to rename this. Column, I'm not going to do it everywhere. Let's just double check. That's going to make life a bit easier. Great. Get rev nums takes a column and returns the numbers. So up here, cells is, I'm going to have to give this full ownership. Get, unwrap, clone. Let nums be equal to get rev nums on cells, and cells I'm actually going to change to be called column. And then res plus equals that. Okay, failed, but we're not far off. That is suspiciously close. Okie dokie. Took some time away, came back. New input function for part 2. I couldn't be bothered to go and do part 1 as well. It's just going to give a vec of strings, which are going to be these. Then I've made a make vec of digits from a string. And what it's going to do is it's going to use a while let sum, which is, I don't think I've ever actually used while let sum before. It's quite nice. So first thing is we make an iterator of the characters in the string. We reverse it, so we're going from right to left. We make it peekable, which means we can look at the next value without taking it. And then basically we're going to iterate through and take each one in turn. If it's white space and empty, i.e. this first value here, for example, push a none into the number we're building, which is a vec of option isolated, so basically option digits. If it's a digit, just push it in. If that happens to be the end of the set of characters, push it in. So basically if you get to here, you want to make sure you push this one into your result. If it's not a digit, so if you've encountered some white space mid-line, if the next value is white space, so that's here, for example, push a none in, because that's not the breaking white space. Otherwise, if the next value is not white space, it's the digit of a new number, push your current cell in, clear the cell until you can start again on a new number. If your next character is not something at all, push the cell in and clear it. And this has tests for the first sample line, which are passing. So now, should actually be relatively trivial. relatively trivial. So we're going to get nums, which is just a vec of string, and we're going to own it. We're going to get ops, which is a slice of string, which is fine. Now let's go change this. So I want up to input on the path, and let's call it nums2 and ops2. Ops2 won't change. Your nums2, num2, and you're not a reference. And actually, I don't care about that. Cool. Right, what are we doing in part 2? So, first off, let digits be equal to, the digits is going to be a vec of option isize. And it's going to be nums iter. That is exactly what I want, yes. Apparently it's not. Into. Make vec of digits is returning. So that is a number. So it's returning a series of numbers. Tell you what, let's do some type aliasing. Type row vec option isize. I've done type aliasing before. In Advent of Code, why am I struggling so hard? Equals. Oh, that's why. So this fun make digits is going to return a row and then part 2, let's get rid of you. Digits is going to be a vec of rows. Cool. That makes things a bit easier to look at. So now I need to for I underscore in digits first unwrap iter enumerate. Cool. This is basically now going to be very similar to part 1. We've already done the reverse, so we're already the other way around. So digits at the moment is going to be space 46 space 15 space 823 321 space 32 space 783 space 46 space 45 space. I've got double space in there somewhere. Yeah, there. So that 5 and that's that 5 and the 3 line, that's yes. 5 4 4 6 7 8 3. So that's 7 and that 1 line up, that 5 and the 8 line up, and then there'll be a none with a 3. And I may as well do the bottom as well. So then it will be 4 1 3 5 1 2 8 9 6. So we'll get a 3 5 and a 6 there. We'll get a 3 6 and a 9 there. Cool. So this is now what we've got, where all the spaces are nuns. So well, not all the spaces, but okay. So that's now what we've got. And when I do for I in, so I'm going to take the first row, I'm going to iterate over it, which is each of these numbers, and I'm going to take that value. So now I'm going to say let column is going to be equal digits iter map v, and then it's going to be v get I. Just get return an option. I know it exists, so we'll just unwrap it. Okay, so column number 1 is going to have these. Now what I want to do is I'm going to put this in a. What does apply ops do? It takes a slice of numbers and an operation. Yeah, okay. Let op be equal to ops I. So let mute nums be a new vector, and column. So if we iterate through digits, we're going to get a row. And I'm going to take the ith row, which is a vec of option. Yeah, okay. So now, for JV in column first, it's enumerate. No, you know what I want to do? So I want to do this over the number of, each time for the number of characters that are. It's going to be in here. So for I equal to 0 up to column first, unwrap len. So basically, how many digits are in here? Oh my goodness. Let's add J, please. For J in that. Yeah. Let me res 0. Res. Okay. Column is impl iter. Oh, I need to connect this. I'm not happy about. Why do I have two part 2s? Not sure. Column needs a type annotation. Yeah, so column is a vec of vec option isize, which is the same thing as a row, but I'm not going to call it a row because it's not a row. And I've got a ref option on that side, so you. Okay. So column is all of these characters in individual vectors. And what I want to do is I want to find the length of the vector, go over it, create a nums vec, and then say for v in column dot iter nums dot push v get if let some val is v get j, unwrap, otherwise it's a double sum. Nums dot push val, and then again I want to do the same logic I did before, which is nums times e. Nums. No, I don't want to do the same logic as before. Oh, this is messy. Let nums back new. Okay. So here what I'm doing is let mute num single be a vec new. If we get a value, no, it's not vec new, it is 0. If we get a value, num times equals 10, and then nums plus equals val. And then once we've finished iterating over why are you column.iter? We're going to go through each vector. That's what I is going to be. We're going to have columns 0, 0 is that one. You know what? It's going to be better to say in 0 up to digits first unwrap len. A column is going to be m column, and then I want to go through the length of a column, and then I want to go through each of the values in the column, take the thing in that one, times 10. Okay, cool. So we start out, it's not a num, so we stay with 0. It's a num, well, it is a num, we stay with 0. It's a 4, 0 times 10 is 0 plus 4, right. And then once we have finished that for loop, we're going to do nums dot push num. What don't you like about that? Nums needs to be mutable. Okay, once we've got all of the numbers, we are then going to do res plus equals apply ops ref nums up. Okay, what are you unhappy about? View, in which case I think that's now a double borrow. Yeah. And then down here, part 2. So I actually want you to be part 2 input, and you need to be completely technical. And failed. Okay, right. Lots of reworking later, and I've accidentally made part 2 pass, which I kind of wasn't expecting. So we'll see if it's the right number, but fundamentally I've completely redone make vec digits, and basically I've just caved and said you absolutely need to know what the column width is going to be, and that's because if you end up with like loads of white spaces here, you don't know if this white space belongs to this number, if it's the break, or if it belongs to this number, without knowing what the column width is. And the column width I'm getting by basically going through all of these, splitting them on white space, and just finding the longest string out of all of them. Other than that, let's see what happens. Okay, that's too low. Cool. Oh, am I actually doing this to... let's give it the correct data. That's a much bigger number. Oh, 47. Okay. So, going back through, now that we have the correct list from part 2 input, we've made a vec of digits, and part 2 is doing exactly what it was before, with all its funky looking for columns and digit place, and going back through them because everything's reversed. Honestly, it's been a few hours now. I need to cut these videos down, and then fingers crossed. Maybe play a bit of Blueprints. It is Saturday, so I have got time. Right. Should have run the clock out. No! Okay. Be right back. Okie dokie. It is correct. So, I peeked at the... Well, I had a look at the input, which I can't show you because I'm allowed to share it. And the columns are variable width. So they are a normal width for this, and they're variable width in the real one, which I thought was a massive pain until I realised that the operations are all properly aligned, except for the first one. And it turns out you can count the white space in between different operations to know what the column width for the next operation is. So for this operation here, on this column, 51, 387, 215, it has 1, 2, 3 white spaces. That's a column width of 3. The reason this breaks down is because here at the start you get 2 white spaces and this column width is 3, which is why I've now got a parse ops function which returns a vec of column widths as well as a vec of ops, and it adds 1 onto the very first value, just to get over that fact. And otherwise, all it's doing is counting white space. If you get to an operation, push the operation in, push the current width in, reset the current width, and then basically the entire thing works as it did before, except make vec digits now has a vec of column widths, which gets turned into an iterator, and we go grab the next one, use it exactly where we had column widths before here, and then to guard against the last value being unwrapped, we just check to make sure there is one. And that is it. 3 hours later? I mean, it's a weekend puzzle, it's also halfway through the year, or halfway through Advent, so they are getting harder. But I feel like sometimes making problems fail because the input is of a format you haven't put in the tests is not just harder, it's really just a bit of a dick move. I have to be quite careful because obviously this is free and these challenges are fantastic, but I think that coding problem would have been just as hard if the example had variable width columns instead of giving you an example with fixed width columns and then suddenly going, why is it not working? And you go, okay, because actually the test input. This happens a lot where it's the real input has a bunch of things in it that just aren't in the test data. Maybe I'm a purist and I think your test data should have. I'm going to stop. Thank you, Eric. I do enjoy doing effort code, but please just put representative data in the test data. The problem is hard enough anyway.